Hello, welcome back to my little channel. Today I am going to do a little review slash rant on the movie. Now, it's been maybe about a month since I've seen the movie. And I'll probably end up seeing it again once it hits DVD. So just my thoughts. It wasn't exactly a bad movie. It wasn't exactly a great movie. It was kind of forgettable. But there are a few things I do remember and that I do enjoy of the movie. One of them were the background characters. When I mean background, I mean extreme background in the CGI creatures. I think my favorites were the crystal foxes on that base that they were trying to get to on the very last planet of the movie. I think they were just really well done. I noticed this theme and it just finally clicked on me when I was watching this movie. Even Star Wars Rebel has a lot of this type of filming in it, or background. Even though the Crystal Foxes really didn't have that much of a story, I mean, it was I forgot what they call it, the actual term, where it actually moves the plot along. Not going to go too much in detail into that for those that haven't watched it yet. The other one were the Porgs. They're a fun addition. I mean, they really didn't take up a lot of the plot, and a lot of the plot was the background of it between the Porgs and Chewie. I thought it was just really well done, and they added it into like the background. It wasn't it was more of a visual story than an audio story when it comes to the Porgs. And then I think it's did it really well. Of course, everyone likes the AT-AT or AT-AT. I think these were the gorilla ATs or gorilla walkers. Like I said, they were at the very last scene or towards the last scene. I personally like them as a visual reference. I don't think they have any military grounding. I think there's a lot better design that it would have been, but no, this is really sci-fi or science fiction, so it really does not matter. But the AT-ATs are so ingrained into the Star Wars movies. I don't think they should just scrap them and redo them. They're definitely interesting. And of course, I am going to do a little spoiler here. There's a scene between Luke and R2-D2 in the picture or this screen I have. Now that's a low blow. Now Luke is an extremely broken, disconnected man in this last trilogy, and you got Rey, you got Wookiee, I forgot what his name was, trying to convince him to rejoin the fight. Oh, it's Chewie. Yeah, Chewie is a Wookiee. Trying to rejoin the fight. And Luke is not having it. He is like, get off my lawn. Leave me alone. Don't want to be with you. Just leave me alone. And then of course R2-D2 and them have a little scene, and R2-D2 shows the same thing that pretty much kicked off the original trilogy. Now when I mean original trilogy, I mean 4, 5, and 6 with Princess Leia saying, "Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope." I just felt that was the interactions and the funny moments between the two scenes were perfectly timed, and kind of tying the past into the present. But of course, we got more of the ranting part of the Star Wars. Is Rey a Mary Sue? My thoughts until that is no. She was dropped off on a Janku, Junku, I don't know. Whichever one that starts off in the Force Awakens. I mean, she was an abandoned child amongst thieves and deplorables. So of course she's gonna learn how to fight. As far as her fighting style, I mean, she does fight with the staff. So fighting with a sword or a stick isn't that much different. I know a lot of people say, what about the Millennium Falcon? What about the Force? Blah 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 blah. You know, Anakin Skywalker was doing pod racing as a kid. You're gonna tell me that he wasn't taking advantage of the Force and the fact that he won the pod racing to win his freedom, and of course the blowing up the trade ship to release the droids. You're gonna tell me that wasn't the Force? That was just skill? Nah, I don't think so. I mean, the Force works in mysterious ways, and the Force chose to awaken certain skills and highlights hers, and I don't know. I could see the Mary Sue side where the character isn't well drawn out. There is no backstory. There is no training. But you know, at the end of the day, she's a Force user. It gets awakened, and my theory behind this is the Jedi Order was created. It was created by Force users. Who taught them to use the Force? Just throwing that out there. I mean, it could be that she's just naturally gifted. That's just my thought. I don't think she's a Mary Sue, and I do like her character arc. I know that's kind of misleading with the set screen, but that's alright. Without further ado, on to the next one. Kylo Ren / Ben Solo. Can we have a trilogy of a Skywalker lineage where the Skywalker isn't a bitch? I'm sorry, this guy is an emo bitch. We had Luke Skywalker starting off as a little punk ass annoying brat. You had Anakin during the prequels acting like a little bitch. A little whiny little bitch. That's all I can say. I mean, if I could describe the Skywalker, or at least the male Skywalkers, I mean, you got Leia Organa, which is a Skywalker, and she really wasn't an annoying little bitch. She was a powerful lady, powerful woman. Definitely Carrie Fisher played her well. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the male Skywalker lineage. I just hope that if they ever do make another trilogy with the Skywalkers, they don't go down the same path of making the males into a whiny little bitch. And then we got Snoke. I mean, boy, what a disappointment he turned out to be, right? In case for those that watched, Snook is a discount Palpatine to me. I don't know really how else to say it. I mean, he's more of a tyrant. He's more of, fear me, I have the Force, I have the power, I can destroy you with the Force. Respect me. It's more of a respect out of fear. There really is no character building, there is no thought. And to the argument, I do realize the original trilogy. When I'm talking about the original, I am talking about 4 through 5, or 4 through 6, where Palpatine had no character arc. He was the bad guy, but he was the Emperor. You could tell that he got there through planning. Through planning and manipulation and plotting. And I just didn't get that from Snoke. Maybe there'll be a prequel where it shows how he came to power, and I'll have a different opinion. But from what little we saw of him, he's just pretty much a punk with powers. Now, of course, I will say Rose is a Mary Sue. I mean, what can I say? Her story arc and her scene, and this scene in the background with the casino, was extremely pointless and useless. Worst thing that happened to Finn. I do know I spelled Finn wrong. I'm leaving it in there. I don't feel like going back and changing it. And of course, these videos are to have fun and poke fun at myself. Oh yeah, I'm going off topic because I just don't like Rose and the story arc. I'm not saying the story arc was bad, I just found it was a pointless scene within the movie. If they wanted to do a separate story, or if they were to make it to where they had to go to the casino planet, I forgot what planet it is, and it was so pointless. I don't feel like googling it. It was just pointless. I mean, I do know that they tied it together at the end. If you saw the end, I understand that scene would be pointless without that, but really, everything to deal with Rose and the casino and DJ or whatever that guy name is, pointless for this movie. And of course, the reason why they were on this planet was because of Vice Admiral Holdar. Holdo. I don't know why I keep on wanting to say Holdar. That was a much better character in Game of Thrones. I'm going off tangent again. Oh well. I think, I'm not gonna say that she completely broke the movie, but her story arc kind of broke it. Made Poe to do what he did and went back to the Rose story. Really, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, everybody has their opinion towards her. I mean, I know there's a backstory that probably makes her a badass, like General Leia Amagata, but her story arc in this movie just did not go that well. I mean, the fact, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, she was able to deliver the lines. The character was presented well from a cinematic side, but the story arc just didn't flow well. It didn't jive with me that well, if that makes sense. And of course, this comes to my my final thoughts. Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie. Like the channel movie Sin. There's no movie without sin. And this movie has a lot of sin. Like I said, I've been watching a few YouTube videos here and there on the reviews, and I don't know where I got this thought where it just kind of all fell together. This reviewer had some pretty good criticism of the movie, boiling down to execution. This movie was not executed properly. Individual scenes were well done. The graphics were well done. Back to the crystal foxes and the orbs. They were well done. I mean, it was not a poorly made film. You could tell it was a high caliber film. It had a very crisp image when it was recorded, when it was viewed. It's just this. Individual scenes were well done. Some of the jokes were well done. Some of the humors were forced humor, just for the sake of, hey, let's cut the tension. We think the tension's too high. We're gonna do this forced joke, slapstick joke. I mean, like I said, I'm not against all of the humor. Some of the humor did flow well. some of it was forced. Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie, it just wasn't a great movie. I personally thought maybe the prequels and The Force Awakens was a lot better movies. I also like the Clone War animation series, that was well done. Star Wars Rebels is also well done, but I think it's suffering from being on the Disney Channel. All the things I liked about the Clone Wars they're not doing in Rebels, but I understand. It's supposed to be a kid's show. Every episode's supposed to tie in with each other, and it's gotta be PG rated or PG-13 rated, so I understand. They gotta lower the maturity. But yeah, like I said, this wasn't a terrible movie. It's not as bad as everyone says it is. It's not as great as everyone else says it is. It's kind of just your average rundown mill factories movie. It had good points, it had bad points. It deserves some of the criticism. It deserves some of the praises. But like I said, it's kind of forgettable. I know there's a lot of things I didn't talk about, different characters and all that. But because I don't exactly remember all of it. And that's my final thoughts onto this review. Let me know if you liked it or not, and don't forget to like and subscribe.